This is YouTube.com's Point of Blue, and I am my man Rodney Blue. Today's Point of Blue is dealing with the automotive industry and their request for a bailout. So the financial woes of the big three automakers are the responsibility of the American people, huh? Well, where was this reciprocal understanding when these greedy corporations were pricing their products so high that most American families were being forced into the subcompact genre if they even wanted a new car? New car prices have gotten so high that for the most part, to drive a new car, you better lease it. And leasing may put butts in cars, but it wasn't such a good idea in hindsight. The big three must need us to buy their cars with that 5, 6, 7 years worth of monthly payments wrapped in to sustain them. But let's cut to the chase. Now, what did the American people get out of, say, Ford acquiring Jaguar, or Chrysler and Daimler getting in the bed together, and Chrysler now being associated with Cerberus? Cerberus? The mythical pagan three-headed dog that guards the gates of hell? That's Cerberus? Man, these pagans are something else. But anyway, money's changed hands between the power brokers, but nothing's changed for the people. Car prices continue to rise unchallenged to unheard of numbers. So if the big three want a bailout plan, they must roll back prices. These greedy private jet-using car hustlers have adjusted the bottom line so much that the profit margins they want, what they need to stay in the black, is akin to extortion. Now, in 1984, a Ford Mustang GT cost $12 grand. What a great price for a great car. Now, that same car will cost you over $30,000. That's not right, and it's not good for business. Now, I'm not trying to have some type of old-timer syndrome and say things were so much better back then, but let's look at it. You roll back prices to the 80s if you want our assistance, because in the history of automaking, by 1984, the price had grew to that $12,000 for a reasonable car. But in only 25 years, that price has tripled? Well, wages haven't. Now, some industries have an internal culture that really holds on to the idea that the American people are a never-ending stream of revenue. But those days are over. What have you done for us lately? Mark up your prices. That's what you've done. But you roll back your prices, you get more business. You roll back your prices, you move more units. You roll back your prices, you increase customer confidence. Show the American public that you care during these rough economic times. Instead of take, and what can we do for you? What can you do for us? Riding around in your private jets, getting those big $1 million bonuses, and then have the nerve to throw up in our face that we get pensions or a decent wage. Your cars are too high, and that's the reason you're suffering like you are. You can move all them cars off those lots if you drop the prices, but you're too proud to do that, aren't you? Extortion. That's what it is. Do something for us, big three, if you want us to do something for you. You just can't take all the time. The prices are ridiculous, absolutely unheard of. And I venture to say that 1984 Mustang GT may be better built than the one we get today. It's probably got more metal on it too. Okay, now don't get me wrong. I understand how important the automotive industry is to America. I understand how many jobs and careers and families are tied to the automotive industry. Some reports say that 1 out of every 10 workers, somehow their job depends on the auto industry. And I understand that things are going up all over. And that's why I'm telling you that as Americans, we have to come together. Now, we're always talking about the American people tightening their belts. Well, I think some of these companies need to tighten their belts also. So if you work within the automotive industry, if you supply seats, seat belts, tires, wires, whatever it is, then you have to understand that you can't continue to extort the American people for these wild amounts of money for the same things that you were getting at such a cheap price only a few years ago. So industry-wide, from repair parts to collision repair to paint, whatever business you in, if it's associated with the automotive industry, then let's see some rollback. Let's see some faith in the American people. Let's see you try to help us put food on the table instead of taking money out of our wallets. Is that possible? Let's see you help us instead of hurt us. Let's see the big three be part of the solution instead of a really big problem. I'm Rodney Blue, keeping it real in Pleasant Grove, and this is Point of Blue on YouTube.com.